Over the moon and ecstasy, we go again to review. So, I actually went to catch this about a week or two ago, minimum, a little while ago, because I saw a trailer for Over the Moon. I'm like, oh, this actually looks pretty decent. And there's really not much coming out in theaters at the moment, and I just found out Wonder Woman is probably going to HBO Max, so that's unfortunate. But whatever. I'll see the Croods next week. Yeah, I'm probably not seeing anything this week, by the way. Like, I know Freaky came out, and I do kind of want to see Freaky, but I'm just not in the mood to see a movie this week. And even though I want to try to support theaters as best I can, it's like sometimes you gotta do what's good for you, and my hair just won't stay down. I haven't combed it yet today. I've been up for a little while, but I actually haven't taken care of myself for the morning. Either way, you don't care about that. But yeah, I saw them like, okay, well, I can get around to seeing it, and I just didn't get around to seeing it. I'm like, okay, whatever. But my girlfriend came home finally, and we made a list of things to watch watch as on for like when we're bored, and like we roll like a d20, and that's how we do it. And we went to random movie on streaming, and we both said, she said, "Oh, you want to see this? Okay, yeah, we saw that." Or was like, "Oh yeah, I want to see it too." So we sat down and watched it last night. Oh man, this is a jarring experience. This has the qualities of a Pixar movie wrapped up in but unfortunately with the story structure and personality of not a Pixar movie. Yeah, sorry, my hair is really bugging me right now. Do I got any standard? Ah, man. Yeah, that's good enough. So I mean, the story is about a girl named Feifei, whose mother dies. Whose mother told her about the story of the moon goddess Chang'e. I might be mispronouncing. I can't remember how it was said. And her lover and how they were separated and how she's on the moon. Well, the mother unfortunately dies of never actually said. We're just going to assume cancer because it's always cancer. And basically her trying to cope with the loss. And then her dad meets someone who's going to get remarried. She's not happy about that. So she goes to find and prove that the story was real because she assumes that is something that's going to convince him not to get married. I'm actually not quite certain what the logic behind that really was. And obviously the whole wacky mystical adventure that goes along with that. So what did I like about this movie? Well, first, the animation is gorgeous. Some of it's very simplistic, but other animation, like the world of the Moon Palace City town, whatever it is. It is very colorful, but it's very simplistic in terms of shape and design. Think Coco, but without the extravagant detail to it. It's more like, bright colors with simplistic shapes. Still very nice looking, but yeah. But it's very bright. It's very colorful. It's very warm. It's also very soothing at points. The animation of the people is actually really again, I would think this was a Pixar film in certain aspects of its animation. That's how good the animation is. Which really bums me out that I'm so divided on film. The songs started rough. And I don't mean what the meaning behind the songs were, or anything like On the Moon Above was the first song about the mother telling her daughter the story of the moon. Oh my god, the Mooncake song was that long? Oh my god. But the thing about that is, I get what they were going for with the early songs. They're trying to tell kind of the story of the life of their goings on, but you can do that while still structuring it as a song, not just structuring it as talking while in musical rhythm. Because the first song is her telling a story, but there's no rhythm in terms of a song. It's just her singing the story. That's all it is. And it sounds nice. That's the real problem with the songs I don't like, is that they all sound nice. The singing is very lovely. But it's some of the songs really aren't that good. Like the first two songs really aren't that great. But then as it gets on, the Rocket to the Moon is Rocket to the Moon, if I'm not mistaken, is kind of how I described it to my girlfriend. Like kind of like the Let It Go of the song of the movie, if you will. And it's actually pretty decent. But it's still one of those things where it's like the songs are fine, and I compared a little bit of this to Coco, and I even brought it up to her. It's like the worst song in Coco beats the crap out of the best song in this, and it's very true. Like the good songs, and I'm feel bad comparing it to Pixar. I don't know what studio actually made this, and like, that was weird. There we go. I don't know. I can't. Wait, yeah. Well, actually, I've got this. Oh, Pearl Studio. Okay, is that the name of the group? A company? Netflix animation. Oh, okay. It was actually Netflix. Oh, okay. Sony had a pan in this as well. I can see some Sony in there. Definitely see a bit of Sony in there. But no, again, even the best song is good. Not amazing, not like, oh my god, I'm going to be singing this. Like, I can kind of remember the tune and melody to one or two of the songs now. But if you were to, and I keep going back to Coco. Coco is one of maybe my favorite Pixar film ever. I fell in love with that movie. But like, I can still remember the beats, the lyrics to a lot of Coco songs, having not heard them in quite a while now. That's how much of an impact Coco and Moana too. Like, that's how much of an impact those songs have. These are just decent songs when they're actually hitting. And the message, I'll say this: the message is good. Learning that you can still love someone and move on with your life, because that's the biggest problem with the girl's facing, is that she thinks that her dad is moving away, forgetting her mom who passed, and finding new love, and she wants things to go back to the way they were, and obviously can't. She's gone. As someone who lost their mother, I can relate to that. Granted, in fact, did they give an age on this character? We didn't actually know how old she was. No, they do not give an age for this character. Just say 4 years later. Now we know the brother or the stepbrother is 8 years old, and she's clearly a solid degree older than him. So my best guess is she's probably 12, 13, 14, one of those. Now again, granted, when I lost my mother, I was already 27, so take that for what it's worth. So I was able to deal with it and understand it in an emotionally different light than she could. But yeah, why don't we segue that into the things I didn't really like about the movie? And unfortunately, that is a decent amount. Now, I will combine this with saying that there are caveats to this. First and foremost, our main character, first off, the story is very easy to figure out what's going to happen. It's very formulaic. This film is not made for like say teen to older audiences. Like a Pixar film can be made for all ages. This film's clearly made for people of a slightly younger age, somewhere in there, early to mid, not maybe early to mid, maybe late single digits, and you could still get a solid amount out of it. And again, I'm saying what it's made for. Like I said, I'm in my 30s now. I'm like, it's overall, the film's fine. It's unfortunately that the stuff that doesn't work really doesn't work for me. And one of the big things is the main character. I get it. I do get it that she is hurting. She misses her mother, and she's worried that her dad is forgetting the mom. But she's so wrapped up only in her own pain that she doesn't seem to understand what her dad is going through. That her dad doesn't think her dad should move on. First and foremost, she seems to think that the dad's forgetting her mom by getting engaged with someone else and actually able to find love again with someone else. And that's just a child mentality right there. That is just a child, and I get it. She's young, but she's in her teens. And they say it had been 4 years since she passed. I don't know. It's tough for me to judge that as someone who's much older when it happened. So I clearly understand my dad was trying to go out and maybe meet someone else again after a little while. And again, maybe I'm just too disconnected from the age gap. But to me, I'm like, look, even someone in their teens after 4 years after their mom's passing, it's like, if it had been a year or two, I could definitely have understood it then. I still wouldn't have liked the way she was kind of going about it. but I definitely would have understood it more. But 4 years, I mean, we all recover and we all, process things at our own rate. But it just made her seem self-centered, and uncaring about her dad's feelings. Honestly, it really made her, because she just assumed that's what was going on without ever talking to her dad about this. She was being a textbook teenager. She was unreasonably rude to her dad, to the new mom, which I understand. The stepmom, I can't remember her name. Hold on, yeah, what was that character's name? The character name. Which one? Okay. Mrs. Ong. Uh, she was trying way too. Okay, maybe not way too hard, but she was trying to force the relationship a little bit. I will give Fei Fei that. The mom was trying to force the relationship a bit. But at the same time, she wasn't being mean. She wasn't doing it. She was just trying to, uh, you know, to, bond with her. And it wasn't working, and understandable. Unfortunately, then they had the balls to kind of introduce us into the little stepbrother, who, I get it, is just another bump in the road, and eventually we come around to him, and we do event. I guess we kind of come around to Fei Fei a little bit. The problem is at least personally, I spent a lot of the time not liking this character for her motivation and the way she was going about it. So by the time we were supposed to kind of like Fei Fei more when she's finally learned her lesson, I just felt it was like too little too late. It just did not work for me. The little brother character, he grows on you quicker, definitely. And oddly enough, the Olaf type character in here, who's voiced by where is the pangolin? And then it turns out I thought he was a hedgehog. He's a pangolin. Ken Jeong, Gobi. He is far more likable than Olaf is. He didn't annoy me at all. Maybe it's because I found the main character so unlikable for so long in the film that it really eased the burden of his annoyance, or lack thereof in this case. But also I get it's magic, but there are some logistic issues in this that need to be addressed. Okay, so the girl is literally so smart, she is able to build a functioning rocket to space. Well, actually, no, it wasn't. Wow, was it functioning to space? Because she didn't account for the extra weight of the brother who snuck in, which is like, dude, what the hell are you doing in here? But and he's got this frog, which is just his pet. She's got a Brad, which is her pet, who gains laser ears. Yes, laser ears. There's your nice new My Hero Academia quirk, laser ears. I'd be down for laser ears. Pew pew. I hear things. The more intensely I hear things, the more intense my lasers are. The more wax build up, the more fuel I have. I'm just spitballing here. You can throw that in. Horikoshi, is that the name of the guy who does My Hero? You can throw that in, Horikoshi. Laser ears. But no. She can potentially build a functional rocket to the moon with maglev technology. Basically, with the same type of technology used to move a bullet train. Get that thing up to over 500 miles an hour to create lift. Sealed it up. I'm like, okay, so sealed up, so it's like theoretically should protect you from the elements. Get enough lift to actually get in the atmosphere. Use fireworks for thrust. And I'm looking here, it's like, why are you still in school? You should be like working at MIT. But then I realized, oh no, that's why you're still in school, because you clearly didn't have any sort of oxygen. You just had a helmet. You didn't have any sort of thrust beyond your fireworks. And yeah, you did not think this through whatsoever. So then the lion dogs come. I can't actually remember what they're called, but the lion dogs come and kind of bring them to the moon. And they're dead, pretty much. The ship crashes on the moon and they're dead, and the lions breathe magic life so they can breathe on the moon now, which is fine. Apparently they're immune to both the effects of the vacuum of space and the moon's atmosphere, and the temperature, because let's be clear, even the light side of the moon's probably freezing. But then the dark side of the moon's even worse. And let's not even forget the ultraviolet radiation. um, and the cosmic rays. So, yeah, I guess it's magic. I can accept that. But the problem with me accepting that comes with the fact that we see their lifeless corpses in space on the moon. And I hate to tell you, despite the fact that the moon does, in fact, have a very minimal atmosphere, hence why there is a level of gravity on the moon. It's just a lot less. But it does have a very thin level of atmosphere. If you were to be exposed to the moon, you would not still look perfect like you are, like they did. You would start to shrivel into a husk pretty freaking quick. Because, like I said, very minimal atmosphere. It's not a vacuum, but it's enough that you would still burn, freeze, whatever it is. You would still feel the effects. They wouldn't just be perfectly fine. So even if they did breathe life into them, they'd pretty much be walking dead at that point. Apart from that, though, it's like there's just so many. Like then the woman lady, what's her name? Change. It's like the word is like change. Whoops. The word is like the name is like change, but with an e. Chang Yi, I think it is. There, it's Chang Yi. And, oh man, I gotta comb my hair. It's knotting in the back end. I gotta get a haircut is what I really need to do. Maybe I'll schedule that in the next couple of weeks. She needs like the second half or other half of her pendant to hopefully bring her love back. And it's like, did you bring the gift and all that? It's like, where's the gift? And this is where I kind of just took my glasses off. My girlfriend tried to basically use the bullshit logic, which is probably what the logic was in the movie. So she pulls out this mooncake, which was actually a gift from the stepmom. It's like, okay, whatever. And she takes a bite of it, and the pendant's in the bite. Like the pendant's in the cake. So I'm just logical. Okay. So here's my thought process. The stepmom somehow had the pendant. Okay, do you want to give her the pendant? Okay, maybe you didn't have the pendant. But let's say you did have the pendant. And you wanted to make amends. Maybe you should have given her the pendant. But you didn't give her the pendant. At least not thoroughly. Unless you were so absent-minded with baking that you cooked a pendant in the cake. But why would you put the pendant in the cake? Like, what was the point? Like, was that her again? Like, she was going to bite into it, see how it was delicious, and then like, oh, it's shiny. Like, what? But my girlfriend's like, oh no, the magic, the gift. The magic in there of the gift, magic in the cake. I'm like, yeah, that's probably what happened. Still dumb as shit. Oh, so dumb. Like terribly dumb. There's like the problem why it's so dumb isn't the idea that it was in the cake, although that is kind of dumb in its own right. But I could accept that if they just said it was a magic thing. The problem is they don't explain why it was in the cake. They don't explain why it was there, how it got there. That's the biggest problem. This is a movie that has to give some sort of explanation for its reasoning, and it doesn't do that. That's the problem. That's the thing where Pixar usually, even Cars, gives some explanation. Like, the first Cars, as best I know, don't explain why it's a world of talking sentient cars. It's just a world of talking sentient cars. Just go with it. But at least explain how the world works to some degree. This isn't doing that. The legend of the moon's phases comes from apparently like a giant space dog that chases comets and bites the moon. And we see that dog chewing on satellites later on. Sorry, there was a phone call from no one that was important. Later on, I'm like, okay, I get it. It's magic. It's supposed to be funny. But why? Doesn't NASA pick up on this shit? Like, how is NASA not aware of that one of their satellites is being chewed on by a giant cosmic space chow? Which I think is what that dog was. It was a chow. How do they not? Or, no, I don't think it. No, yeah, it was like a chow. It was big and, not like a thin chow, but like a, was it a chow? Crap, was it a chow? Now I know my dog's pretty. I see dogs all the time. It was that type of Chinese dog that is that's very wrinkly and very smushy. If you like, you trying to smush his face. Hold on, Chinese chow. Let me see here. Chinese, or is it a Chinese Mastiff I'm thinking of? Chinese, Chinese, let's see, Chow, let's see, Chow Mein. Is this the right dog I'm thinking of right now? Not Chow, Chow dog. Okay, that dog. Okay, Chinese Chow dog. Yeah, that's exactly. It's a Chow. Okay, it is a Chow, and they are adorable dogs too. Is a Chow. Oh my God, he's a Chow. I don't see for all the dogs that come into my work, and I work at a pet store in case you don't know. I don't see many Chow Chows come in. I think I've seen one or two in my time, and they got the blue tongues. Oh my God, they're so fluffy. I want to snuggle them. I want to snuggle them. Um, trust me, anytime an adorable dog comes in, I'm just like, oh my God, he's a puppy. I like that meme too, where one girl goes up to her and I was like, look at that puppy. He's like, that's an adult dog. And the girl's just like, it's a puppy. That's me. I'm sorry. The dog could be a 50 years old somehow. And I'd be like, hey, you puppy. That's me. You are an adult dog, Domino, but you are my puppy. Either way, I digress. So yeah, it's like NASA doesn't pick up on the fact one of their satellites is being totaled by a giant cosmic kaiju dog. I don't know. I get it. It's a kid's film. It's fantasy. Just go with it. But when you start out with a character that's not as likable as you would hope, and that's your lead, it kind of jades your opinion on certain things later in the movie. So take that for what it's worth. Overall, it's not a bad movie. It really isn't a bad movie. I would say I'm glad I watched it. Because it was very enjoyable. It was a feel-good film, ultimately. But it suffers from a lot of problems that could have made it really good. Like really good. It's suffering from a lot of problems. It is what it is, though. Ultimately, though, if you're interested in a lighthearted family film, got kids, got Netflix. Most of us have Netflix at this point. My girlfriend is the one with the Netflix. I'm not. But yeah, if you're looking for something to sit down and watch with your family, I would suggest this. Definitely. If you're looking for a feel-good film with your family, I would. And it has to have good lessons in it. Like, it's got good morals. It's just the track to get to those morals is a little painful. There's some bumps along the way, but you get to your destination. And it's a good message about loneliness, about moving on from, the loss of love. But that the love is always there. It's good messages in there. They just could have addressed it and handled it better. It is what it is. Again, maybe it's just because I'm a more jaded adult, so maybe that's my problem. Either way, though, if you've seen the movie, let me know what you think. If you haven't, check it out. I suggest it. Until then, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. As always, you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. And ideas for who would win, Star Wars, Superhero, Magic, what if, anything you can do on the channel. Put that in the comments below. Let me know. I'll get that at some point. I do have to do the... excuse me. I have to do my what ifs still today. And I got to pre-record my videos for tomorrow. So yeah, I'm a little behind, but not by much. But it's by one video. But I am a little behind. And by the way, I'm not sick. It's just one of those things where it's like... that time of year, so the allergies and all that stuff, the congestion gets in there. For those of you who get it, you know what I'm talking about. Until then, though, thanks for watching. I'll see you later.